change how the two hosts. If I may, I'm thinking that you chose the best thing. If you like them good shows and all of these movies. What up, Chippa Chap? This is Chippa Chap Chat. What up, Chippa Chap? This is Chippa Chap Chat. What up, Chippa Chap? This is Chippa Chap Chat. What up, Chippa Chap? This is Chippa Chap Chat.
What up, Chippa Chaps? This is Chippa Chap Chat episode 52.
51.
51.
51. Kanoe confused me. We are talking about Suicide Squad, our review and thoughts on the film. The super polarizing, yet again, for the DC Universe.
The third film for the universe.
Although I gotta say, I think this one, even more so than BVS, seems really
polarizing?
split down the middle.
Yeah.
Like, in everyone's opinion is totally different. So,
Oh wait, before we start, in case you didn't know who we are.
Fure.
Chamba.
And Kanoe.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah.
And all of us are vaguely familiar with the DC characters. Kanoe's even read the New 52 comic. We've seen the animated Assault on Arkham Suicide Squad movie. So we had some stuff going into it, but I wanted to see what your guys' expectations were based on the marketing before the movie came out. I mean, they first had the David Ayer leaked trailer from Comic-Con that was like really slow, had that really slow "Joke Is On Me" song.
I didn't even see that.
That's the very first trailer. I'm sure you've seen it.
Mate, it's been so long though.
Yeah, and that's the one where it's like a Bee Gees cover, but it's like super dark.
I don't even remember it.
And then the second one out was the official trailer, which had the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right, okay, that's the one that I remember.
Right. But there was definitely a tone shift between the first one, which was really kind of like dark looking, and the second one, which they started to incorporate all the bright colors and skull designs and yada yada yada. So based on what you saw, like, what were you thinking going into it? Were you excited for it? Were you...
I was excited when I heard about it first. Before I saw anything, I was more excited. As they started putting out more marketing for it and like putting out not set photos, but cast photos and stuff like that, it just seemed really strange to me, and I was getting really skeptical. But I was overall, I was just excited in general to see the comic as a live action thing. So I think I went into it pretty excited, but still very hesitant, which I feel like should be the way you go into these now.
Yeah.
Like, don't get your hopes up too high.
Any particular expectations based on like some of the characters, like say Harley? We've never gotten Harley, you know.
Right. The first look at
It's the
Joker.
first look at Joker, exactly.
I think nowadays they're just changing so much of the actual original characters, the designs of them. They're kind of trying to make a new version. But I think Joker was the first. Obviously he was the first big one that, like, when he came out, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? And which seems to be most, like, everyone's response to it. But yeah, and I had faith in Jared Leto. I think I like him a lot. So it was a weird casting choice, but when it first came out, but it's interesting. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect about him. I didn't know what to expect about any of these characters, honestly.
I just remember when I first saw the Joker, my instant reaction was like, if this is what Joker looks like, what the fuck is Harley gonna look like?
We were like, remember when we did a podcast, like, it might have been a year ago or something, where we drew ourselves as the Joker type stuff.
Right.
Because at that point we were just thinking, what is this gonna be? Like,
everybody's saying,
if this is what Joker looks like,
right,
what does Harley look like? And then what are the rest?
of them.
Yeah, how's it gonna fit within this certain world that they're supposedly
And they're
creating?
supposed to fit with
Yeah,
Batman
exactly.
and Superman Big Six now. So.
which we had.
which
seen
at that
Batman,
point we hadn't
yeah.
seen. So now we have. It's like, I don't know. Expectations are weird. I just wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be good. I wanted to like the film. Obviously, then before when the trailers were out, I don't think we'd watched BVS yet, even, right? Yeah. So we didn't even know what BVS was going to be like, let alone what Suicide Squad was going to be like. So.
And then we also, when that second trailer for it came out, they had the Bohemian Rhapsody, like we were saying, which automatically people were comparing it to Guardians.
And you can't blame them either.
It's a good plan.
It's
a good idea.
Absolutely.
It worked well for Guardians.
And while they were saying this is going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy for the DCU, it's interesting to then see what we ended up with.
Right.
So what did you think of the introduction to the characters? Now that we've seen it, it kind of starts out with them showing
Kinda.
who's going to be involved in the Suicide Squad itself. They immediately go to Belle Reve, or I'm pretty sure in the movie we start out at Belle Reve Prison, the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it starts there.
So what did you think of the introduction once you see them in live action? When they first show them all like hanging around the prison, what did you think of them? It basically starts off with Will Smith punching on shit.
Pretty much. I think he's the first person. He's the first
character
person that you see, and then you see some of the security, and then it gets to the other characters. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't like that part of when movies do that, when they so blatantly, obviously showcase each character like that. I'm not a big fan of it.
Did it bother you in Guardians?
No, because that made sense. They're being screened for being in the whatever, they got caught by the cops, so the cops are going through and discovering who they are. So that's kind of neat. But in here, it's just
Amanda Waller explaining each person to someone.
I think with the Guardians thing, they showed there was things that happened prior to that introduction of the character.
Yeah, that's also true.
So we saw the character before we even knew who the character was.
Right.
Whereas here, that's the first thing we got. Here's Amanda Waller going to dinner with these two official guys, and it's like, here's a folder of everybody.
Sympathy for the Devil playing as she walks in, because they crammed like music in every scene.
Why
back
not?
to back
It's a lot of money, but like here is a folder of these criminals, because now it's like, what if Superman were to attack the world? We need the same. But then, like, even saying that, as she introduced the characters, I'm like, none of them can fuck with Superman.
No.
At all.
Maybe Enchantress.
Maybe.
Magic is supposed to be Superman's weakness.
But we don't know if that's an established thing in this world. But, like, we have to, like, what if a Superman? You know, obviously. But then, like, then you have characters like Captain Boomerang.
What's Captain Boomerang gonna do?
Harley Quinn even. I'm like, come on, Harley Quinn.
Right. But she's not. She's supposed to fight Batman.
Right, I get
unpowered.
Absolutely,
person.
but
seemed kind of weird.
But then when if she compares it to Superman, none of them can be compared to Superman.
Yeah.
Killer Croc, right? Haha. Superman will tear him in half. You saw what he did to the fucking buildings. He's not a Zod.
Even as a group, I'm not sure these guys can fuck with Superman at all.
So. Yeah, but like that introduction, to the cast, I get what they were trying to go for.
They had the mugshot kind of thing with the graphics.
But I think the reason why it worked better in Guardians is because we did see a few of those characters doing their thing before that shot.
Yeah, I think along that line, I liked the fact that if you're comparing it to Guardians, in Guardians you were able to establish your own opinion about the characters before they told you what it was. Whereas Amanda Waller told you Harley's crazy, she was in the insane asylum, Deadshot's got a kid, and
he's the best sharpshooter.
Like, she's giving you all this information.
Is it weird that they all had their specialists, target masters and guys that can climb anything?
Yeah.
And Harley's crazy.
Yeah,
she dates the Joker.
She's the queen of Gotham, so she has
got
to be better. Wait, no, she's crazier than the Joker.
Right. If they
said that,
if they had even said anything about her gymnastics background, then it could have cleared some of that up. Especially because she does some of that stuff in the movie. She was a psychologist, and then she's
a gymnast, because she is a gymnast. That's part of her history.
Right.
She's also a psychologist. Those two mentions would at least justify some of the things that she can, she's capable of doing in the film.
Right. Also, I did. We're jumping around, but I did notice the second time we watched it. I didn't think about it the first time, but she has a conversation in the stairwell after her first of many flashback things. She remembers falling into the pit with Joker or whatever. Yep. She asks Deadshot if he's ever fallen in love. He goes through a spiel about how he doesn't feel love. And she stops for a second and she goes, typical sociopath.
Yeah. Textbook
sociopath.
Yeah.
Now, at first I was like, that's just her response. She walked off. But then I'm like, no, that's original Harley coming out for a second. Yeah,
that's Harleen Quinzel. Yes, exactly.
Just emerging for little bits. I thought that was kind of interesting.
But it was cut. That scene was cut awful.
The whole movie is cut awful. Yeah. But we'll get to that.
Okay. What did you think about the introduction of the characters to that way?
I thought some of them were good. Right. Some of them were not as good. I thought the Harley one I did not enjoy at all. Hers was the she fell in love with him and she gave him a cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't understand. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they jumped right past how the fuck she would have even fallen in
Yeah.
love with this maniac,
No.
and they just like she was in love with him.
Yeah.
So,
They rushed a lot of like. They
right,
rushed
and
a
if that
lot of
stuff was
things.
cut out, I'm sad because I
Yeah.
felt like they didn't give
Exactly.
it enough attention to justify what happened to her. But I did like Deadshot's. Him negotiating for money while he's about to kill the informant.
No, that's great. But see, that's a good shot. That was kind of like the shot for us to get to know who this character is.
Right.
No other character really got a shot like that. We didn't see anything for like El Diablo, fucking Captain
Until
Boomerang.
after.
Until
Not
after,
until
the-
after.
right,
Yeah.
right. But like clearly, he was the linchpin of the film. He's supposed to follow Deadshot in a sense. Yeah, yeah.
It was Deadshot and Harley,
yeah,
were
yeah,
the
those
two
two.
main leads, obviously.
A bit of Rick Flag in the little intro as well, but again,
they're
he was
supporting.
yes, right.
Those are the two
Those were the
leads.
two mains.
But I do think that his was done well. Hers not as
Not
much.
as well. I think hers was cut worse.
Yeah, definitely.
Hers was lazy.
Yeah, but I feel like there probably was more just because of how it was cut around. We didn't get to see enough of it. What did you think of her like voice and stuff? Did she nail the Harley character to you?
I loved her. I loved her. I think I heard a lot of people saying that her accent went in and out, and I heard that, but that was fine by me. But when she did do it, I think it sounded really good. The whole part where she was in the car with Joker, and she's going batsy, 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 and like, you're ruining date night and shit like that, like all that kind of stuff was really cool. But even stuff she said outside of that with the actual Suicide Squad, I thought was really good.
I heard a lot of people saying that it was cringeworthy to them every time she would say Puddin' or Mr. J, because they felt like it's not something a real person.
But she's
would
not
say.
supposed to be.
I
She
think
is crazy.
Pudding
She's crazy.
Did it stand out to you when she would call him
No,
that?
I don't think so. I think you just have to realize that her character is so, like, her voice I feel like fits the character very well, and it's very like crazy sounding. So she has to say things that like a normal person wouldn't say, and or in inflections that people wouldn't normally do. So I think that the way she says "puddin'" and like the Mr. J thing or whatever, that's very iconic to the character. They couldn't do that. They couldn't have this movie her in it without saying those things.
Do you think that her persona as Harleen ahead of time should have been drastically different than how Harley
For sure,
sounds?
yeah.
Because she was already calling him Mr. J.
Yeah.
as
She
the
needed
doctor.
a contrast.
Right, something to show that
Something
the
to
character was
show
different now.
the split.
Right.
The change from Harleen Quinzel to Harley Quinn.
Which is why I was saying that I would like to see the standalone Harley and Joker movie, because then I think they would establish more of her actual.
Would you
background
prefer
before.
just a movie about Harley and Joker, or would you prefer them to be like the main villains of a Batman
Yeah,
movie?
maybe that. Like maybe it's Joker and Batman, but Harley's in it.
Because I feel like that was something that we definitely missed out on, was any interaction between Joker and the
Because
Batman.
I would love that's what we didn't see.
Right.
At
Yeah,
we
all.
saw
not at
none
all.
of that.
Like in the car, he was driving the car. She was
They
going
never
crazy.
looked face to face.
Nothing. I want to see that. Like I want to see individual films for each of these, Justice League things. But with the Batman story,
They
you
could
have
skip the Cyborg
you have
one
no
too.
Cyborg.
Just do-
Yeah, Cyborg. Do your Teen Titans. Do
Right.
something like that. But with Batman, I need to see this Joker in it as the primary
Right.
villain. Harley has to be right there with him. Otherwise, what's the bloody point? Don't have like another villain, then Joker's going to come in again and do his
The
little...
rumor is that they are going to do the Batman movie as like an Arkham Asylum type thing, like the game. So he would be in a building similar to the Raid, which they always bring up, where
I'm fucking
he's
tired.
going to see all the other villains like you do in the game, where they're cameoed in the cells and stuff like that.
As cool as an idea as that is, to have as many, like, if it's a film like that where you can show...
But Joker's the main of that.
Right, where you can showcase that. We got that in a game, though. Let's have a story that's...
Not everybody plays the game.
I understand that as well. Like, it was like the game was so good that let's make a film based on this game because it's so well. But the studio exec's gonna be like, oh, we have to try and incorporate this aspect into this as well, which is gonna make it not like the game, which is gonna probably fuck it up.
Maybe. I mean, the way things are going, it's quite possible.
It's
That's
almost...
the other thing I felt like we missed out on going back to the intros, was in Deadshot's intro. He has an interaction with Batman, but it's like when he's out with his daughter and his civvies or whatever. And I
wanna see the
understand
demon
it was so that he could have his daughter intervene and stop it.
Right.
But I feel like how sick would it be if he had the scene with his daughter, and then they cut to him getting captured by Batman in a completely different scenario where he's suited up, he's Deadshot versus Batman, not whatever.
Because he got him as a vulnerable.
Right.
Also, prior to the film, when they talked about, you get to see the villain's perspective of how they see Batman. Right. No, he was just a normal dude. He just got Batman. I wanted to see where he is the nightmare of Gotham. No one knows what he is. He's the boogeyman.
Right.
He's the one that is the shadow.
Which they said, and I feel like we
don't
didn't
say that.
Like,
don't
he's
fucking,
scarier.
Yeah,
in this
don't
one.
fucking say these things.
I think he was scarier in BVS. He was murdering.
Yeah,
people
he was murdering,
right.
and he was like, he was a demon in BVS essentially. Here he was like handcuffs.
I felt like they softened his voice a bit.
They did.
He didn't seem as terrifying.
No. But like, I don't know.
But now that we got past that characters, now we're talking about the movie itself.
Sure.
With the general plot of the movie, which was, some would say very simple.
Simple's
some would
fine.
say
I think
lazy.
simple's fine.
But the general plot is Amanda Waller is putting together a team, but now that Superman is dead, they feel like they need something to fight
Task Force
metahuman Task Force X. They need a squad to fight metahuman threats.
Right.
And they want to use a couple of metahumans and a bunch of bad people to do it because they're expendable. Expendable.
They're the Expendables.
And their mission with Task Force X is to stop one of their own.
Yes. See? So Amanda Waller, just from the get-go,
she created the problem.
Yeah, she created the issue.
Right.
And by doing that, she needs to basically get the team that she formed to get her out of shit.
Right. But what were they originally gonna fucking do?
We don't know.
Because they are just used to get her out of a city that everyone else could get out of on their own, which I'm still confused
by.
Why did they need them to do that?
Well, it's like she needed to get the Task Force X approved. But then, alright, as soon as the government already approved it, all of a sudden shit went belly up because one of the members themselves went crazy. So we don't even know what their first actual task would have been if this had not happened.
They're used to escort her out.
Yep.
And then fight off the member that went rogue, basically.
Pretty much.
Is the whole plot of the movie. So now that's established, obviously there's some stuff that didn't work well. But before we get into that, what are some major things that you liked about the movie?
Major things I liked about the movie were,
What's three things that they did absolutely right to you?
Oh my gosh, they did absolutely right out of the whole movie?
Yeah.
One small things about the character.
I think for me, I think they did Harley right. I liked all parts of her in the movie.
How did you feel about her look now that you're seeing it in live action?
It still seemed. I hate when they put female comic book heroes in the most unpractical gear ever, and they did that to her. She's wearing heels and booty shorts, and it's just ridiculous.
The heels part is bizarre, always.
Margot Robbie says that's because Harley uses all parts of her physicality in her comic.
I get that. That's cool.
Because she uses her physical appearance as
sex appeal, everything, just to try and...
Bleh. I don't
whatever. That's just it's justification at this point.
But I still think they should have went something more like the Assault on Arkham.
Right, that one was fucking...
They should have kept her in an actual Harley costume that already exists, just modified it a tiny bit, but still kept her in
Make it a tactical version of her classic.
I think that movie, if they just made, the cartoon movie into a live action, that would have been...
Well, obviously that would have been
would have been too easy, though.
I think it would have been easier for David Ayer to handle as well, instead of needing a world-ending device at the end of it.
The thing that I did like, though, was the chemistry within the group.
Yeah.
I didn't... While a lot of the characters... Well, a handful of characters you probably could have done the film without. They kind of just felt shoehorned because for the sake of having them there.
They have to have a squad.
Right, they have to have a squad, exactly. They can't have, 3 of them or whatever. But I like the chemistry within the group.
Kanoe was saying that she felt like with all that they were talking about, that they were going and doing stuff together, she felt like she didn't feel like the chemistry benefited from that.
Probably not. Because there wasn't enough for them to actually...
Well, you were saying because all the hype beforehand was talking about how the cast is so close and they spent all this time together and they and they told each other their secrets and shit. I don't think I noticed that
Yeah,
at all.
like watching the movie, you're like, oh, I can see how
I
they
wasn't like,
how they were
oh, yeah.
like, this is great. Like they're all great together and stuff.
They were just like, nah, they do their job together.
Yeah.
That's
But
all
like,
that
and
was.
it's also weird also because this task that they were supposed to do in the film, they'd been as a group together for like a couple hours.
3 days or something.
3 days max.
3 days before
Right.
they were told that they were going to
Yes,
be a group,
exactly.
and then the whole plan fucked itself immediately,
Right.
and they were used.
But I like the characters. Like that's the thing. I like the characters. The story. Let's have them. Let's have these characters in another story that's more solidified for the group.
So
And it probably-
chemistry was a positive.
I like them. I like the
and
characters.
for you, Harley was done well.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, there wasn't a lot about the movie I didn't like.
Any
there
other
were a
things that
couple,
were
like,
major positives for you other than just Harley herself?
major positives. I mean, I liked the action scenes that they had when they were fighting against the big bad or whatever. You know, I thought the action was pretty good. It just seemed like, for me, it felt like they could have gone like a step further, but they never did. So they were like, it was awesome, but I was just like, oh, they could have done something really cool with this, and they didn't.
It was 2 hours and 10 minutes of waiting for the beat to drop.
Yeah,
That's actually
yeah.
good. Yeah, that's a good point. Like
That's it.
I think with some of the characters they highlighted them really well. Like Deadshot was highlighted really well, with how good he is and shit. Like what his ability is. You didn't really get that with the others, in a sense. Like you didn't get why a lot of them. Like Killer Croc. Okay,
He's real strong.
he's a
Yeah,
strong
and, like,
croc
and he
guy.
eats people.
Wasn't
apparently.
Captain Boomerang? He's not just a dude that throws boomerangs,
No,
right?
he's actually
like,
supposed to be pretty legit.
I mean, he's supposed to be legit, but he is just a dude that throws boomerangs.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be pretty legit. Like,
Right.
if he's one of Flash's villains, you're not just a Flash villain because,
Right,
I mean,
you have to fight
one,
the
you don't
Flash.
run fast, so you
Yeah.
have to do something,
Right.
you know?
Do you feel like he showed anything in this movie that you're like, okay, that guy could fight the Flash?
Not really, but I would watch it still, probably.
But that was his first interaction with
Right.
the Flash
Right.
that we get to see in the
and
cam-
which
in
is
the
crazy because
beginning.
I think this is the best role he's ever done, the actor.
Jack Courtney.
Yeah, he's normally just bland.
Right.
Whatever guy in the
He
background
got
that
to
you
play a
don't
character
like.
with a personality.
Right,
which
and
is
that's why it's
good.
like, wow, he's actually...
But he also did pretty much nothing.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
And,
Remove it from the
No.
film, and it did really nothing.
The other character that I thought really did nothing, but I thought was kind of cool, was actually Diablo. He had his part in it was important,
Right.
but it was just like two parts of it that
Right.
They didn't utilize him
He
enough.
But
was-
I liked him
They
a lot.
showed him
Yeah,
off
I
as a
liked him.
pacifist,
Yeah.
and they don't tell you why
Yeah.
he's a pacifist. Just that he's decided
Mm-hmm.
he's no longer going to kill anyone, other than a little bit of footage that we saw of him ending a prison riot by burning everyone
Yeah.
and giving himself a flame
I liked
crown.
it. I
The
know,
flaming
I thought
crown
that
is sick.
yeah.
It was. I don't think I liked the buy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was cheesy
Yeah,
as
I didn't-
shit.
I didn't like
like
the
that.
text part.
Just
of it.
wave him out.
Right.
Just how about not show that scene? That seemed so cheesy.
It just because it was such hard
Yeah.
letters. I feel like I was just like,
it needed to
that's
look like
not what
actual
that would
fire.
look like.
Like, it needed to look like actual fire. Like
Yeah.
the girl dancing in his palm. That's fine.
That was interesting too, but
That
I
was-
also feel like
No purpose.
what goes into that
I don't know.
to animating that thing with your brain?
Right.
Do you have to think
I
about
don't
all
know,
the
that's the
dance
thing.
moves
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
doing? Are you choreographing?
Mind you,
this?
like the way he explained to himself at the bar was like, as he did more things, as he did more crimes,
Right.
his power grew stronger and stronger. Now we don't know whether that meant his fire is stronger, or that he has more control of the fire.
Also, in the second viewing, because we saw this movie twice.
Yeah, we saw it twice, like a
Uh,
day after. The
the second time I noticed at the bar, or no, when Captain Boomerang is like, hey, so you're the flame guy. And he says, yeah, or something.
the reflection,
He
yep.
flashes what that creature
Yeah,
is. that he turns
exactly.
into
I
at the
saw.
end
I
of
was
the
like,
movie.
legit.
Now, the first time I saw that, I was like, oh, he just shows him some kind of weird demon thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think he's going to be that in a
Yeah.
No,
half
that's why I
hour.
was like, to me, like when he rocked up in the end, I was like, wow, they went there.
Right.
I didn't expect them to. So I was happy with
I
that.
thought it was interesting that it's like a flaming skeleton.
Because he's
with
supposed to be,
armor
he's a
on.
god. He's an
Right.
Aztec
He's a
god.
devil.
Yeah.
But it was interesting interpretation of how that, because that could have been anything. It could
Yeah,
have been like
but-
a giant red demon
Right,
with
but
flames
I
on
really
it.
like
But I thought it
personally,
was cool.
they did a really cool thing with that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a spoiler talk, so yeah, he's
It sucks that he sacrificed himself.
he's out, but,
But there's 1,000 ways they could get
Right.
past that.
They could
He
just
died
say
in an
he's a god.
explosion. So
they could just say also
what does
he's
an
a god.
explosion do to a fire demon?
Yeah, he's a fire god, so technically he
Right.
could still But that was cool. I'm like, he was actually a character that became useful and really cool. Or some like,
Oh, sorry.
Go.
I was gonna say though, since we did see it twice, that I noticed when I watched it the first time, I hated Joker. I thought Jared Leto's Joker was just unbearable. And then when I watched it the second time though, I realized that I liked him more, but I hated Waller less or more. I whatever.
Her actual acting?
Yeah, I think it was her character that they created for her.
So the writing.
Yeah, I think it was the writing of her I didn't like, and I just didn't like her character at all. Which is she's a villain, I guess, kind of in a way.
She is.
She is dickhead Nick Fury.
Yeah, yeah.
Dick Fury.
But yeah, so I actually did like
The
Joker.
worst kind of Fury.
Yeah.
For the record.
Since I did like Joker more the second time, I was really surprised about that. But then I think it's just because what we were saying before, that if you just put Joker and Harley in their own movie, in their own universe, in their own world, they make a lot of sense together. And he was always with her only. Like, he was only a part of her story. So I think when you put them together, they make a lot of sense, and he makes a lot more sense. But if you think about it because when I went into the movie, I thought Joker was going to be the main villain of this movie, and everyone was going to be doing something to him or for him or against him. But he's not.
Because that's how the comics are,
Right.
And that's how the animated thing was.
Yeah, but since that didn't matter, and he wasn't the main villain, he was just a part of Harley's
just a
story.
side
I liked
character,
that.
yeah.
I feel like a Harley and Joker movie where they're the main two would get grating to listen to those conversations.
Yes, completely. That's why I think
Of
they would
her
work
going,
best.
I'll put it,
That's what
Mr. J.
I honestly
and him
don't-
being like,
I honestly
no,
don't want.
peanut butter and jam. Or whatever.
I don't
It's
want a
too
Harley
much.
Quinn spin-off.
No, I don't think
I don't
we'll
think
get it.
it's like. Tell me the story. What would it be about? It has to involve the hero. She can't just be she can't become the hero of
Well,
the film.
they said it would involve Batgirl and Ivy.
So why would you call it a Harley Quinn movie? She's
She'd be
amazing.
like the leader of the Sirens, and they would fight Batgirl.
I support this.
Just
So
give me.
you'd get a new Catwoman, a Batgirl, and a new Poison Ivy.
I don't want it yet. I don't want it yet.
I support it.
I'm sure she does, and that's great. Give me.
I don't care. Like I don't. It doesn't have to be like too fucking epic or anything like that. I just want.
And you know
for
it'll
fun,
end
I
up.
want that.
You know it'll end up being epic. That's the problem.
Maybe, but it's also like
That's the problem, though. You
again,
know they're gonna want to
this
do
is
more.
what Harley looks like.
Right.
What does
The
Ivy
fuck is
look
Ivy
like?
gonna look
Yeah,
like?
what is
she gonna be the one
Catwoman
from
look
Arkham
like?
Asylum where she's just got a top and she's naked essentially with leaves covering everywhere?
I don't know. Well, the
What's
top
Catwoman gonna look like? Is she gonna be the burglar Catwoman? Are we
they'd
finally gonna
have
get
to,
the
'cause
burglar
that's the only one we
Catwoman?
haven't done. Well, they tried to, and the last one with the weird goggles that flip up
Yeah.
into
Or are we
ears.
gonna get another Halle Berry Catwoman?
I fucking hope not. Terrible bad. But yeah, if that happened, it would be
You
interesting.
have to call it Harley Quinn, though.
But I just don't think it's necessary.
That's the thing. It's not necessary. I'll watch it if it's out. Sure, no problem.
But she's DC's Deadpool at this point,
That doesn't
especially
mean
as
she's
far as
milking.
popularity.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The Deadpool movie was better.
And we haven't gotten a Harley.
I
movie
know
yet.
that's true.
I mean, I don't think a Harley standalone movie is going to be a really good idea because I don't
Yeah.
think she has enough pull for herself.
What if they
only-
did it low budget like they did Deadpool and just like we can fit
No,
some
I don't-
cameos in here? It doesn't have to be.
She
a
needs
huge
to
thing.
be. I mean,
She's
she
good.
needs to fight with someone. So if you're comparing it to
Batgirl.
Deadpool, if you're comparing it to so she has to have a
Could she
team
not
in the
just
same
have
way
a
that Deadpool
Batgirl
had
movie?
Colossus and fucking Nega whatever her name is.
Megasonic.
But like that times like 5 in Harley's movie. She needs to be with a group the whole time. I don't think she can fight by herself or do anything by herself.
That's
You're
why I
not
think her with
confident
Joker
in,
works.
Yeah.
Not confident in Margot Robbie to lead.
No, it's not that. I just think her as a character. I mean, if they did that, they would be making up a completely different story for Harley that doesn't already exist. Because in no version of her now, I don't think, or maybe the newer ones. I haven't read the newer ones, but
I
know.
also don't know that they established enough of the abuse between Joker and Harley for her to have her epic like emancipation from him.
Right.
I don't think she's gonna have the emancipation from him.
Well, who knows how long this is going to keep going?
If
But
they're even gonna allow this to keep going.
I feel
at
like
this
the
point.
worst abuse thing that I remember, other than he gives her electroshock therapy at the beginning, was the like, oh, this guy said that my girlfriend is hot. Come have sex with this guy.
Yeah.
That's super weird.
Yeah.
I can't think of any scenario where I would be okay with any of those things happening.
I think the other part, though, the other time I noticed that where I thought maybe Joker is really more fucked up than he actually was, but he ended up not being, was when they did the flashback of her falling into the pit, and he like looked like he was gonna walk away and just let her go.
I think for a second it was a
He was
question.
going to.
Right,
was
but I think
absolutely.
that's the worst part about him is that he questioned that. He like
Not when he got thrown into a lake by his own doing and then left Harley in the water to die
well,
so
I mean,
he could get away from Batman.
That's the same instance then, where he was just like, I'll just let her
But that's the Joker at that point,
have
isn't it?
deal or
Like he's supposed to be twisted and fucked up. It's not supposed to make sense to regular people.
Mm-hmm.
He is. That's why. That's what makes Joker Joker. He does shit that isn't normal. That's his version of.
or maybe he thought she was dead. So
No,
just-
he doesn't. Like that's the
tried to
thing. It's
leave.
almost like he wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he didn't stick around long
No,
enough to find out if
not
she was
that.
dead. He had to get the fuck out of there before Batman jumped in. He jumped in immediately.
Yeah, he was out. He wasn't. It's like he wasn't even there.
Right.
She had already punched it through the glass.
Right.
So I don't know. But like as a standalone Harley, I don't know. If they're gonna make it, go whatever. Do your
I'd like to see it if they made
do your
it.
Harley? Yeah, I'll watch it. But the thing is, I'm like, with all your plans right now to push Justice League and all the individual like films, a Harley Quinn film seems so left field and random that how would it relate to the rest? Would it relate to the rest?
Way after, when all of them other ones are done, do a Harley movie.
There's so many ideas that they want to do right now. It's
Yeah.
like just focus on making a good this one
Right.
first.
What is something that you're super disappointed that we saw in the trailers? Because there was a lot of things
Oh.
from the trailers that didn't make it into the movie. Because from what we've heard, there's 2 different edits. The edit that we got was actually done by the people who cut the trailers.
Yes.
David Ayer's edit, which was a much darker film, was not the one that they gave us because they were afraid people were going to be pissed that they
Are they
didn't
gonna
get what they
release
saw. in
that
the
ever?
This is
trailer.
annoying to me.
You know?
Stop fucking doing this.
Right.
Movie studios.
Trust your directors.
Just
man.
movie studios in general. Whether it be Fox with the Trank
Right.
Fantastic Four or this or BVS, like let them tell this story. If it's shit,
You hired them to do
yes,
it.
let them do it. Let them do it. If it fucks up, then it fucks up.
Right.
But at least this way now it's confusing. Now they're getting the blame for something they didn't actually even agree to.
Could you imagine that happening if you drew a comic and they just cut the comic up and then fucking
I'd be like, take my name from
redrew
it.
some
I'd be like,
stuff?
take my name from it. And they're like, no, we're gonna have you. We're gonna say you written by you, everything by you. I'm like, what the fuck? This is basically
Right. It just doesn't represent
yeah,
you.
it's
at
not
all.
representative of me at all.
I feel
But
bad
the
for
fact that
David
the whole
Ayer.
like the fact that there's multiple cuts. They gave the film to different editors too.
Right. And we also have seen set footage, so
Yes.
there's lots of stuff
There's
we know
lots.
was filmed
There is
that was
lots.
not in it.
Lots of Joker shots.
Lots and lots of Joker
Lots of Joker
stuff.
shots.
Jared
Like,
Leto
just the
seemed
trailer
pretty-
alone.
He seemed pretty upset.
He was
that
like, we
his
filmed a
stuff's not
lot.
there. And that the main thing I wanted to see in this whole thing, there's this one elusive shot in the trailer of Joker backing away, and the side of his face is all like blacked up with soot.
We feel it's
And he's
after
got a
that one
grenade in
shot.
his mouth.
It's after that one shot.
Yeah, it's got to be after his
How about if that was
chopper
Batman?
goes down.
How about if he was facing off with Batman? then?
Because remember, it's like in a cathedral or something. Maybe that was the scene from the end. Who knows? But like Harley, like you hear the laugh, and then Harley looks over and she's like, "Uh oh!"
Yep.
And where the fuck was that? Where was any of that shit?
But just the shot of like him with that like soot on his
Right.
face, because that looks like it took place after the
I
crash
think
of
it's
the
an
helicopter.
explanation of how Joker
yeah,
survived and got
exactly.
away,
Yep.
and they didn't give that to us.
Because if imagine, I don't know.
What if that was the Batman?
That's what I'm
interaction?
saying. If he was actually interacting and he got away from Batman,
Right.
it's like, oh shit, this is how.
That's why he vanished from that
Yep.
fight, and we didn't see him again until the end.
But like, this is how a face off, an interaction with Batman would be like.
Lucky for me, though, I didn't watch many of the trailers
Yes,
because
that's
I
smart.
refused to.
I avoided
A lot of
the
that
recent
stuff is
ones.
from the very
Yeah,
first.
that's the
Right, I
trailers.
watched the. I remember. I don't remember the first one well enough to know what they took out. Honestly,
Kinda makes less sense.
except for the katana eye thing that happened that I
Yeah,
never
that-
saw.
Her eyes turn
Yeah.
black.
Mm-hmm.
They had that scene where she swipes and you see all the skulls in her sword thing.
Yeah, it's the actual
Yeah.
souls in his sword.
Right.
What also makes me weird now is that, like you said, the film that we got was edited by the guys who
Did the
cut up the trailer.
which is
Yet-
why all the music and
But
shit.
how come the trailer showed more scenes that wasn't in the film, yet they cut the version the released version.
Because it was early footage. They were like, now the movie's done and we have to put something out. I think the studio got it and was like, this is too drab. Everybody was like complaining that BVS was too dark.
I don't give a fuck though.
Time to make it look like those trailers with all the Guardians music and shit.
Why did studios just...
They even
backtrack?
had one of the same songs from Guardians.
That's why it was like, that's weird to me. But yeah, in terms of the songs, all right, I know we compare it to Guardians quite a
lot,
bit,
yeah.
but we got no choice because
Well,
essentially...
it also doesn't help. We were talking about it earlier.
Right,
and
We were just watching
we were just watching Guardians. But it's like, with Guardians, the songs make sense because it's the guy's actual playlist.
It's worked into the story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why
in this film, they came out of nowhere. None of these songs relate to any of the
and the
characters in
songs
any
were
way.
hecka fucking random
Yes,
too.
very random. You got some
Like-
hip hop songs, which
Right.
is, I'm sure, appear in the
Eminem
soundtrack.
Without
Yep.
Me.
And then you've got like,
come baby, come
Yeah.
baby, come.
right?
Why?
I don't know. That one felt so weird, and that cut of that scene, just so many cuts.
Okay, so Harley, they're all fighting in the street.
Yep.
They have to go into a building. Harley doesn't wait for them. She starts going up the elevator. She's got to be at least 1-2 floors up by the time
At least
they
one
notice
floor.
her.
At least one floor. Let's say one floor.
Then they enter the building to go catch up to her.
Yes.
Somehow, though, they're all at the top of the stairs, not out of breath,
Nope.
just waiting for
Just
her
waiting.
after she has, like, she fights,
Yeah.
like, two
She
alien
fights
things.
two or three, yeah.
Two possessed
Mhm.
weirdos in the elevator before she gets to the top, and they're all just sitting there, and then Croc does, like, a weird stance thing up to
Yeah.
her, and they all just, like, watch her walk by and stare at her butt for a minute, and they're all like, I guess this happens
is what happened.
on
Like,
this team.
how did they beat her? And she was in the
Right,
elevator
I-
There
already.
was just a lot of those kind of fuck ups.
Right, weird edits, man. I feel like...
Oh,
it was a problem.
Holly. I'm gonna break this glass. Grab the thing. That's a trailer shot.
Before the trailer came out, or before we saw it, after the trailer came out, before we saw the movie, I was convinced because I had seen the scene where she looks at the phone and she sees like, "I'm coming, be ready." I thought for sure there was going to be some like plot where the window that she breaks and pulls the purse out had the phone in the purse. I was like, that's not for no reason. She's
Yeah.
breaking that because the phone.
What
is
you
in.
said makes a lot more sense.
Right?
And
and
what
then
happened?
It would have fit in that. It would have fit in the film
It
more
would
than
have
just
explained
grabbing the fucking bag.
It's bad guys.
It's what,
It's
we
what
do.
they do.
So there's a lot of things in this film. We're just like,
But the thing is, I liked almost all of the characters.
Yeah.
I just would have
Yeah.
preferred to see them all in a better movie.
yeah, absolutely.
Because I
Absolutely.
think they were all acted well. Even Jared Leto, who I wasn't the biggest fan of his choices, like the 1940s gangster thing to me is just super
I'm fine with
random.
this. I'm fine with this.
It's super random to me.
I think what makes less sense is the fact that he has all these tattoos while still rocking that. That's a
Rock and gold
contrast.
and
But
the
it's
grill
whatever.
and
It's
stuff.
Joker. It doesn't
He,
matter.
he's aesthetically very hip hop, but then he talks like a
Right.
1940s gangster, and
Yeah.
I really would have liked to see more of what
Yes,
he did.
absolutely. I think there's
I
there's
wanted
not
to
enough of
see
him
more
to
of
judge.
his darkness
Yes.
because he doesn't do a whole lot of anything
That's the
scary or
problem.
iconic.
Maybe the cut. Maybe David Ayer's cut.
The scene that he was most interesting to me is one of the shortest ones, and it's just where he looks up and he's got like a black outline
Around
of
his
a bigger
mouth, yeah.
smile around his
in
mouth
his apartment.
Where he tells his mate
in
to
his
grab
lair
his
or
car.
whatever
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck. Yeah, like I'm sure that scene was longer.
Way longer.
It doesn't
Mhm.
start with him just getting up and be like, "Where is she at?" I feel like I wanted to see more of
He
that.
might have had a
world.
monologue there.
Yeah, why all
Mhm.
that shit was everywhere?
Because he could be talking to himself. And if you looked at when they zoomed up, there was like lots of stuff. Not just the
There was
knives.
baby
yeah,
There was
clothes.
baby
TVs,
clothes.
monitors,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pull-to-power piano,
Yeah.
baby clothes up there.
There's a lot of things there. So
Yeah.
it's like that was a scene that we didn't get.
What did you think of his laugh that he spent so much
Slow.
time on?
It's theatrical.
Does that for
What
some
about the
reason?
purring that he does?
Yeah, that was real bizarre.
But
too.
like that to
when
me,
he,
I'm
when he
like,
first meets the guard, he's like,
Oh god, that was so annoying.
but to me, I'm like, to me, that's like you are a fucking weirdo, and that's okay because you're not supposed to make sense to anybody.
right.
You're really not supposed to make sense. Your actions
the
and
kiss
shit.
the ring,
Yeah, and he's like, oh,
and he's like, I'm sure you meant
I'm
that,
sure you
and he
meant that.
sits on
and he
his
sits
lap.
on his lap. He's like, you're gonna be my friend, yeah, basically.
I was like, so basically, he's a creeper.
Yes,
No matter gender,
but that's great.
he will be creepy to you. I just don't know that to me is like scary. I was expecting. He's like, I do method acting.
Right.
I never break
Yes.
character. I'm sending pig
Right,
carcasses
right,
to people. I was like, we're gonna see a fucked up
But that's
Joker.
the
He's a
thing.
psycho.
We might not have seen it because that might have been in the cut that we never got.
Maybe, but I feel like at most he was just gonna be more of a dick because now he's hitting girls and shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any extra footage we missed of him killing more people.
Well,
I think
He killed nobody but
Yeah.
Common, who was in this
Common.
movie for zero fucking reasons.
Useless.
Yeah, that's
He
Can't
could
even
have been
call
the
that a
fucking
cameo.
main guy, the main villain.
Everyone
Why
thought
wasn't
it
he
was
the
gonna
brother?
be. They were like, it's gonna be the tattoo
Why wasn't
man.
he the brother though?
Why wasn't the brother made out of Rick Flag?
what?
Rick Flag and the witch are next to each other all the time.
Yep.
She's got a connection to June Moon. It's a way to appease her if they get to be together all the time, right? So why doesn't the witch just turn Rick Flag into the incubus, and then they kick it all the
No,
time?
because the ending, they have to be together. It has to be happy for them.
That's a way they could
I
both
know, but
have what they want.
whatever. We're not writing it. You thought
But
too much.
I was thinking though while you were talking about the Joker thing that I think that a really good point or like an example when they had the Heath Ledger's version of Batman or of Joker, that scene where he's with all the guys and he slams that guy's head on that pencil, and you like immediately establish, okay, he's fucked up. Two
Yes.
regular people
We
he
never got
knows.
He'll kill a dude out of nowhere.
Right, but then their version of that was when he shot Common or whatever. Like, but that wasn't even.
It wasn't-
that
it wasn't as impactful.
Yeah,
No,
that
because
didn't do
all it was
anything.
was like, Common's like, your girlfriend is dope. And he was like, fuck my girlfriend. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm pretty sure you'll be mad. That's your girlfriend.
Yeah, and you know he would.
And
is.
he's like, oh, well, then I'll kill you for not doing
Yeah.
it.
But it's like,
What?
but the thing is, he's like, I'll probably. What I got from him was like, he'll probably kill you regardless.
Right. He had already decided
Yeah,
as soon as you
you're
said
dead.
that's
As soon
a
as you
bad
stepped
bitch.
in, he's like, that's a bad bitch. It's almost like, ooh, he's gonna kill you.
Yeah, he's going to do it regardless.
Yep.
But
he
it
wants to
just
see what you
wasn't
do.
done in an effective way because it was just like him going, okay, no. And then you see the Joker's gun
then-
perspective,
yeah.
like looking at him.
Very artsy.
Right,
almost.
but I feel like the
don't know.
death wasn't imposing. I feel like it should have been, because he's so weird and creepy, it should have been something up close. Like he gets on him and guts him or something. And then just like stares him in the face as he's dying.
But is that too violent?
I don't
like,
know,
if you just fucking-
if you don't show the wound,
Right,
if you just, he stabs him and you just see them face to face
Right.
and he just smiles at him as he
And
dies.
just- yeah.
That would be way more fucked up and I'd go, this
And
Joker's
if they
messed
wanted
up.
something creepy, lick his face. Do something
I
weird
don't
like
even
that.
think they needed to do
They
that.
probably did
just
at that point.
Just the unchanging
Yeah.
smile at him as
Right,
he
that's
dies,
true.
I think would have been better.
That's a shot.
But just not enough of that. For
No,
how much they
not enough.
talked about how
Not enough.
creepy and weird he
Yeah.
was being, I
That
just
was
wasn't
disappointing.
impressed by him in
There's,
that way.
there's too much. There was too much like pre-hype, as we get these days. Anyways, they hype everything up
But
regardless.
the look didn't bother me
No, not at all.
like I thought it
In person,
would.
yeah, and the teeth weren't as ridiculous. As
Yeah, I barely noticed them.
Yeah.
They were just shinier than normal.
And they didn't really focus on the tattoos either as
No.
much. So it was such a minor thing that unless you're looking at it, like
Right.
really
And I think I
studying
noticed
his
the
look.
second time too that Faye was saying that they kind of like they toned down the tattoos a lot more. His face is more white, like more white out than what we thought.
They
I
blew
guess
it
in the
out.
beginning, yeah.
I feel when he had the tux on,
He looked great.
he was, yeah, I think he looked cool. And the next time you see him, he's got the SWAT gear on, so the
You
tattoos are
never
mostly
really see
covered
them.
up anyway. He's got a helmet on. But, I mean, based on what we saw in it, well, actually, first, what did you think of Cara Delevingne's Enchantress? Because she's been a
Oh.
big source of
She
hatred
is
for
fucking a
lots of
massive
people.
source of hatred.
Especially,
online.
they go, as soon as she starts doing her weird
Her
moves
weird
and shit at the
dancing
end,
stuff?
people are like, this shit is garbage, this villain sucks. Do you think she was as bad as everyone's saying?
I fucking loved her.
Really?
I thought she was awesome. I thought her character was really cool. I mean, the only part that I didn't really like about her was that they didn't establish anything about June beforehand.
Right.
She, as June,
She
seemed
went in
really,
a cave.
Yeah,
she went in a
she-
cave and broke an
She's
artifact.
she's
Right.
an archaeologist, and she broke an artifact
Yeah.
the minute she saw it. Like maybe it was a possessed thing. Like maybe
Yeah.
somebody.
But if they established that, where it was like, open me,
Yeah,
or something like that,
that
would have been different. But
Yes.
she's just like, snap.
Yeah. Snap. Oh shit. What's
Oh,
that?
what's
Like
happening?
it was so like so many little things could have fixed this. I
Right.
think.
She was
Right.
Little
not a very
things.
good Tomb Raider.
No,
No,
but I think,
she's-
but I think her as a witch, like her in the, like I think she looked very much like I loved her Enchantress look. Like
Her first transformation, I
yeah,
think,
that
was one of the
hands
coolest
thing,
things I've
yeah,
ever
that
seen.
Yeah,
really
the
was.
hand
Where she reaches underneath
And
her
then as soon
hand
as it
flips
turns,
over.
Yeah.
she was
Very,
that.
very
I was
cool.
like, beautiful. That was excellent.
That
Or
was
just
really well.
the scene where she's in the office and she's just kind of like moving really weird and smoke.
I like when she was touching the guy.
Yeah,
Just don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Don't please don't touch me.
Yeah,
He
but
would have been
everything-
shitting his pants then.
But then the part later on in the movie where they establish her as the like I assume the actual witch version, the full
Right.
version, and she was moving around, but she's a fucking witch. Like,
Right.
what is she supposed to be doing?
Also, she was casting.
Yeah,
Fucking
like
spell.
would it have been better if she was just standing
Standing
there
Like this?
like a stick figure or
That's
something?
boring. What she was doing was she was basically moving, and like we were saying in the room before, it's like, look how weird the fucking collector is moving.
But he gets a pass.
he
He's
gets
in
a pass.
Marvel
Yet
movie.
she,
Right.
you know,
Like,
everyone
it was
hates
neat
her.
if you think about it too, because it was like her. Because the way that she was moving, it was like her body was faster and slower, moving faster and slower,
right.
and like
It was real jerky.
it was very jerky and kind
People
of.
said they didn't like that because it looked like her head was like CGI'd onto her body, like her head was moving separate than her body. But I felt like it was.
I
very
watched too many.
intentional.
I watched too
Yeah.
many dances, and that's just a thing.
Yeah,
that
it
you-
was just
you
like
can
shit
do. Yeah,
moving
yeah,
through her.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I looked. That looked.
Yeah,
it
it
looked
didn't
wicked.
bother me.
No.
It was strange looking, but I felt like it was intentionally strange
Absolutely,
looking. She's
yeah.
not a human.
She's strange as
Right.
shit. She's a witch that's like 6,000 years
Right,
old or some
yeah.
shit, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. That part was interesting to me.
But yeah,
how
if-
much people hated on
If they
those
established the
characters.
June Moon a little bit more,
Yeah.
Right.
or even the whole when she broke the thing, just have the actual enchantress.
But do you
call
think
her.
if they make a sequel, is rides off into the sunset now? Her
Yeah,
story
she's-
is done because they
no more
got the witch out of
Enchantress.
her,
I
or do you
think
think
so.
they would bring her back in some capacity?
I don't think June Moon. I don't know.
Because they probably would bring back Rick Flag, and
Yeah.
we have to assume that they would be together still.
You can
'cause
still
that was
have
his
Rick
whole
Flag in it
plot.
because Rick Flag. I don't know if Rick Flag would even care at this point.
Right, he has no reason to stay.
Oh well, in the end, he was there. He was watching over Deadshot and stuff.
Was he?
Yeah, he was there by the door when Deadshot was with his daughter.
Right, but I mean, after they established they were
after.
back to the prison.
That was
he
after
there?
the prison. I don't know. I don't think it was.
I don't think they showed him there.
They didn't show anything.
They could get a new cast, but that's the beauty of the Suicide Squad.
Right.
In the books
New
as well, they
cast
had
each
different
time.
new casts. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Deadshot would become the leader, unless of course they go, no, Rick Flag has to be the leader. In which case, he will be back, but she doesn't have to be back necessarily because she's no longer the Enchantress.
Right. What did you think of the Weasley security guard? He moves a lot of the plot around.
That guy's got a weird face.
Everyone
He does.
Everyone thought he looks like the dude from the Aphex Twin videos to me.
Wow, that's not a
The
compliment.
face that they use in everything.
That's
He
not a
looks like that
compliment,
guy
yeah,
to me. But everyone thought he was supposed to be Hugo Strange.
He would have been an
before the
awful
movie came
Strange.
out. Right, based
He
on what we
would've-
saw,
yeah.
it would have been very.
He would have
weird.
been an awful Strange,
Yeah.
but he was a guy that fucked up. That was
Yeah,
he was
way into
a
Harley.
he was a useless.
I thought he was going to be
security.
working for the Joker
Right,
the whole time.
right.
As soon as he was like, "All right, you know the deal, hotness," I was like, "This guy works for the Joker."
Mhm, exactly, like he's already in on it.
Right. Turns out not, but he was
Not
just a
till later.
weirdo that
Yeah.
works at the thing. Definitely do better security checks.
Yeah,
He's the
clear my
porn
browser
stash.
history.
Yeah,
Of
he's yeah,
this
exactly.
universe.
They should have just cast him.
Right. He easily
He did
could.
the same role.
Um,
Yeah, he was useless.
how do you feel about the characters interacting with Batman though? If they do an Arkham Asylum movie, would you want Deadshot and Killer Croc and stuff like that to be involved, or do you think they're their own shit?
At this point, I wouldn't even touch on them. Go to actual.
Because if they go to Arkham,
go to proper Batman's.
the only
rogues.
person we know for sure is there is Lex Luthor.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah, I wonder how they would work that kind
I
of stuff
would
out.
keep if they were doing a movie with Batman, but still with
As a Suicide Squad movie?
yeah. Like, is that what you're
Oh,
saying?
no,
Like,
no. I thought you
what do
meant just a.
I'm
an actual
saying,
Batman.
well, they're talking about doing a standalone Batman movie where it's like the Arkham Asylum game. So you see lots of cameos and stuff from the people who are locked up in Arkham.
I think that I would like to see Deadshot, Harley, and Boomerang probably more.
Yeah.
So if they could somehow sprinkle them
Boomerang
in.
probably will show up in the Flash's
Oh, I guess
movie.
that's true. That's totally true.
Not as a main villain.
No.
Didn't really give a shit about the Katana girl, and
I
didn't.
liked her quite a bit.
I did, but the thing is,
Her
she's not even a
introduction was
villain.
random. Right, but she wasn't in the movie.
She's not a
either.
villain.
She was working with Rick Flag.
Yes.
She was his backup. Okay, explain this to me though, because they're like, she's just getting permission to start this task force
Yep.
thing, but when Katana shows up,
No mention of her.
they're just like, yeah, she's my backup. She's been on missions before. She cuts people in half. She's really good at it, yada yada. She has a sword that can trap souls in it. But we only just got permission to work with any of you weird people.
Right.
But we already got a
Yeah.
weird person on staff that.
She's not a soldier of any kind.
right. She's just badass.
She's
and
just
has a
she has
thing
a
that can trap
demonic
people in it.
sword.
Yeah, they're already used to magic concepts. But they're like, but we
She's
want
on
to
our
put a
side, by
witch
the
on the
way.
team.
She's not a criminal.
Right,
And
that's
clearly in the
real
bar
weird to
scene,
me.
she's not a thief either.
Bar scene also shorter.
Yes.
I wonder why that is. Because they had the whole
I
thing
think-
where Harley was asking them each what they wanted to drink. And
El Diablo said
Diablo's
water.
like, just water. And she's
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
a good
Yeah.
idea. But that wasn't
That was a
in it.
trailer.
Yeah, that was
trailer
in it.
moment.
I think the bar scene was my least favorite scene out of the whole movie, honestly.
Really?
Which sucks because I liked it because it established Diablo, but other than that, I didn't like any
You
of the
didn't
rest
like
of
getting
it.
to see them just hang out?
No, I thought that
'Cause
it
there's
was.
not enough of
that
it.
was their shawarma.
I think the problem is
It
there's
was
not
their
enough of
trauma.
that.
It
There
seemed,
wasn't enough of that scene for them to actually get together. That scene was for Diablo to tell his story.
Right.
it seemed really ungenuine, honestly. Like all of the interactions that they had. I mean, even at the end, like Diablo tells a story and then it makes Deadshot and Boomerang cry or whatever. But I just felt like that whole scene seemed very like
Paused.
just very forced, very awkward.
Right. Where Boomerang suddenly gives her, she's like, what about the kids, mate?
Yeah, but you have to remember, he's just a thief.
Still.
Yeah, yeah.
And, Flash's villains have a code
They do.
as well. They're supposed to anyway, where they don't kill people. But he definitely killed the shit out of that guy that he was working with.
They didn't
Oh,
show
yeah.
him, like, they didn't show his head drop or anything,
Right.
but he just basically got the boomerang and
Yeah,
just...
and then Flash is like, no honor among thieves, and then
Yeah.
they cheers to honor among thieves
Yeah.
later
Yeah.
on, which is kind of a weird
Right, I
writing
don't
thing.
know. I think, like, Boomerang,
Yeah, that
I
phrase
think
goes.
Boomerang
Let's put
was
that phrase in
great.
here again.
Right.
I think
It worked
Boomerang- I
out.
think Boomerang was great, though.
I did like him. The Deadpool unicorn thing was a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Because
The
it looked
pink
like the
unicorn.
same unicorn.
It might have been the same pink unicorn. It's like, we found this on the set somewhere, let's just use
Let's
it.
just use it. And it's apparently one of his fetishes. It
It's a
says,
pink unicorn,
and Deadpool's doing what? Masturbating to
To
a
a pink,
unicorn
yeah.
in this movie? Seems like a weird thing to leave in if you have all this extra footage, but whatever. I don't know. So, do you have high hopes for a sequel if they want to do a Suicide Squad 2? Are you down for it? Or do you think they should skip it and just work those characters
think-
into other movies?
I think I'd be down for it if they changed maybe some of the characters. Like I didn't give a shit about Killer Croc either.
Right. But he's got BET now.
He does.
And he
He's got a
asked for
giant
it.
head.
He asked for it and he's eating a
He asked for
burger.
it.
Yeah. I asked.
I asked.
I wish they axed that line from the
Yeah, I
fucking
wish
movie.
they did, because it's I asked.
Yeah.
You fuck-
But Killer Croc is a gangster. He
Yeah.
doesn't talk like that. Why? Just hire a big wrestler, because I don't see the point of hiring that dude to do it. He's an actual actor. You don't need
He is
him
an
to play
actual
like-
actor. He was in Thor 2.
He was in Thor too.
He was in Thor 2.
He was in
also
Oz.
became a giant beast in that film.
He did, but they more convincingly made him look
Right.
giant in that movie.
Yeah, they did.
As Killer Croc, he just had a giant fucking head and
Gigantic
a little tiny
head,
body.
yep.
Remember in the scene where they showed his big combo snack nipples?
Yep.
Not in the movie. That was only in the trailer. They thought, you know
I
what'll
wanted
get them
to
in the
see
theaters? Killer Croc's big combo snack
It's
nipples.
Killer Croc combo nipples.
Right.
Combo snack, yeah.
Not in the movie though.
Should have been.
Too much shit. Not in the movie from the trailer, in my opinion.
But that's what I'm saying. I would like to see another version of it. Hopefully, one that they do better on.
When they do the Blu-ray, do you want to see the David Ayer Ultimate Cut, or do you just want
Yes.
them to give you?
I think they should
deleted
have
scenes?
both versions.
Oh,
If they don't have an actual David Ayer cut
Right.
like put
David Ayer
together,
cut over deleted scenes.
You
Yeah.
would prefer the
Yeah.
actually
see it
that's
how
a
it's
good one.
supposed to
That's a
go?
good one.
I
David
would.
Ayer cut. And this version, the
Right.
theatrical version and David Ayer cut,
Mhm.
rather than theatrical version with deleted scenes in addition.
I get that. I'm curious about the special features. I hope they have some kind of segment about the costumes because I find that very
Yeah.
interesting. Although they didn't have the Joker Batman that everyone thought was going to
Yeah,
be.
there's
in
a
it from the
Hot Toys of a Batman that's Joker colored,
Right.
and it's listed as a fucking Suicide Squad.
Right, like when they put out the
Yeah.
Nightmare Batman, and everybody
Right.
was like, "How's that fit in?" So
Exactly,
it seemed
but
like
that
there
fit
was
in.
going to be this
right.
thing.
This
and
one, nothing,
then- yeah.
nothing.
I wonder what that was for.
It's probably
Unless it was just for funsies.
That's dumb funsies. That's not even. That's not fun. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Hot Toys. Are
So yeah, the movie wasn't as good as I was hoping it was going to be from the trailer.
but it wasn't. It wasn't trash.
But it wasn't garbage
bad.
like everyone was
Yeah.
saying. It was good enough for us to pay to see it a second
Yeah.
time.
right. And honestly, I
I didn't
liked
do
it.
that for BVS.
Yeah, that's,
That's
true.
When
did.
I got a BVS,
I did,
but
unfortunately.
you bought your tickets ahead of time. You
Like
didn't-
a month.
You didn't.
I didn't
see
know.
it and then pay.
No,
to see
no,
it
no,
again.
no. That's nothing that I would never have done that
Yeah.
for BVS.
Whereas we saw BVS and we were like, we won't even see that again with free tickets.
Yeah.
So this obviously was more appealing
Yeah,
than that.
absolutely.
And,
It was
you know,
fun.
as much as everybody was like, I'm afraid Will Smith's going to take over this movie.
I was one of those people.
I really liked him in the movie.
Yes.
And I thought he was one of the highlights of the movie.
Yeah.
Easily one of the most likable characters, even though he's definitely a murderer that hangs out with his kid after he's done murdering people for large amounts of money. And his both. Okay, you were telling me, we were talking about this before because now it's been a few days since we saw it.
Yes.
You said that they had too many scenes of them establishing Deadshot's ability.
But no, the reason why I said too many is because we got the shot of him in the prison with the guns.
Right.
We got the intro shot where he ricocheted that fucking bullet and killed
Right.
that guy. We got the monster shot.
Right.
A lot of the other characters didn't get a lot of those kinds of shots. And I
Definitely.
understand while he is one of the main characters of this film, it is still a group
It definitely
film.
is.
And
Definitely.
I felt it was lacking on the others to accommodate for more of him. And that's why the balance...
I felt like those shots that they had before the car
Yeah.
thing, where he gets on the car and starts annihilating everyone, I think they needed to happen
I get
in
that.
order to make that as impressive
Right.
as it was.
Right.
Because we got to see his job,
Yes.
where he only did one bullet. He could basically, you know, he's got Hawkeye ability where he can hit somebody from anywhere or whatever, bullseye or whatever. So then we see him at the shooting range, which I think was a dope scene.
Yeah.
And
Oh, no,
I
I didn't say all those scenes
Right,
were dope.
one of the only times that I've seen them use like Kanye West music in
Great.
a movie, and I'm like, that worked perfectly.
Perfectly.
And
God.
and he was like, he was hitting his own bullet
Yep.
shot so many times that he was basically
Yeah.
melting holes in the all of these metal targets,
that's
which
legit.
was so dope.
Yeah, like, if this is a character that
Like,
DC
he's
has...
for real.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get to see him
Right.
him demonstrate it, but then you get to see that in use
Yes.
in the
Right.
scene later
No, no.
where he jumps on the car and starts annihilating everyone.
I understand. It's my
It
problem.
made me go, why can we have that but Hawkeye, like, I'm like, this dude,
Exactly.
why is he even on the fucking
Right.
team? If he was like
'Cause Hawkeye
Deadshot
is
with a
that.
bow and arrow,
Because he is supposed to be that.
right, but if he was,
They've never
then
shown
no
that.
one would ever question why
Of
he's
course
on the
not.
team.
Like, you can still question why Scarlet Witch... Oh, not Scarlet Witch. What?
Black Widow?
Widow is in the team. Because it's like, what
Because
is...
she's the Harley of that universe. I can do
Right.
flips and
Exactly,
shit.
cool.
And she's taken
But,
on
like-
gods from other places too, but we don't complain about that.
Marvel, bro. Now, my issue wasn't that he got a lot of those scenes and that we should have removed some of those scenes from him. My issue is that we could have had similar scenes for the other characters as well.
Definitely, but you know, who knows how much
Like
we
El
lost
Diablo,
to
we got
that.
the little bit where
With
it
the
was in a
trailers.
prison.
Right.
So that's cool. But then he burnt those guys in the building and then he fucking turned into Fire Demon, which was legit.
So we got
some
for
him.
as well.
Killer Croc, useless
Boomerang,
as
not
shit.
really.
Boomerang, not really either.
Right.
Harley Quinn, she does flips and she's crazy. Katana, again, we saw that
Killer
little
Croc
short
is another
scene.
one where I felt
He
like
doesn't need to be there.
If he had a backstory thing where
Yeah.
you got to see him fight Batman, would
Yes.
have also
Oh,
been very
completely.
interesting.
Because
then you see how
Because
they interact.
They
with
explain
each
it's
other.
like he was driven out of Gotham sewers by Batman, and
Right.
then that's why he was caught.
right.
We didn't see that him in the Gotham sewers versus
Right.
Batman.
We got no example.
If he's supposed to be the brute, the muscle of the team, I didn't really get that at all.
Yeah, definitely not. But I did enjoy the thing, and if they make another one, you gonna see it?
Yeah, sure.
You gonna see it?
Yeah.
Out of 10,
Oh,
Overall, what we think about
And-
it.
and you got to pick a thing. It's not out of 10 numbers. It's out of 10 Aspen the cats.
Sure.
Out of 10 top hats, mustaches.
out of 10, out of 10 M&Ms.
Out of 10 peanut M&Ms.
Yeah.
Sure.
What is yours?
10 chicken wings.
Cool.
Crack chicken wings.
Oh
Okay.
shit, that's a good one.
What do you give the movie?
I feel bad. What did I give BVS? Can't even remember.
Like a 4 or something?
Oh,
Or a
okay.
6 maybe?
I'll give that one.
I think I would give Suicide Squad maybe
Squad.
like a 7.
A 7?
Maybe
You give it a
7
C?
and a half.
It gets a C grade?
like maybe a 7.5 because I don't think it's an 8.
Right. It's
Like-
not quite.
It's not like the best thing, or
Right.
it had its problems.
Definitely.
So I think maybe like 7 or a 7.5, maybe
7.5.
maybe close to 7.
7.5 what?
Aspen the cats.
Okay. And Yepri?
About seven M&Ms.
7 M&M's.
7 peanut M&Ms. That's not bad.
It's definitely not
That's
bad.
not bad.
And sadly, I'm going to have to copy you guys. I think
Yeah.
it was just about there.
Yeah,
maybe
it's like 6.5,
like
7. Yeah.
7 and a piece,
Yeah.
because like the characters, I think,
Yes.
again, were very strong.
Mhm.
And if the plot was at all different,
If the plot
I
were as
would've
strong
thought-
as the characters, this film would have easily gotten like an 8.5.
and quickly, I disagree with Kanoe. I think Viola Davis was great as Amanda Waller because she's supposed to
Yes,
be
no.
a
She's
piece
great
of
as the
shit.
character because she's she's scum.
Yeah, she is awful.
She's scum.
I just
She's
didn't
awful.
find her very intimidating.
I definitely did.
She's still like
Other
she's
than the when she's like, I got a phone still,
Yeah.
I could blow you up.
it should have been like attached to a heart.
Right.
You know, where if she dies, they're gone.
That would have
too.
made more sense.
You know, rather than here's an app on my phone. If I press it, you're dead.
So yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yep.
It was an enjoyable movie.
Sure, we watched it twice.
Not as bad as everybody's saying it is,
No,
but
definitely
as you
not.
can tell from this conversation, it definitely had fucking problems.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a lot of shit to work on.
But it had good stuff too.
Yeah.
And more enjoyable than the movie that
What's
had
the next
Superman
DC film?
and Batman and Wonder Woman in
Oh,
it,
Wonder
in
Woman's
my opinion.
next.
Wonder Woman is next. Okay, so here, one last thing. Based on what we saw in Suicide Squad,
Yes.
also they had a post-credit teaser this time.
They did with the Batman.
Right, which
I mean,
which
Bruce
they said
Wayne,
they
my
weren't
bad.
gonna do,
Like liars.
but
Which
they
I
changed their
didn't care
mind.
for.
Yeah, it was fine. It just superfluous.
It was
My
like
friends.
Nick Fury's. It was
Right.
like Nick Fury's
Yeah, it
version
wasn't-
of trying to
kind
get
of,
their shit together.
But it would be like Nick Fury's version of we're gonna get our shit together if he didn't already tell you in the last movie that he was gonna do that.
Yeah.
So I'm just showing up again to be like, hey, I'm still
Remember
gonna do this.
that thing I said?
Guess
I'm
what I'm
serious.
Guess what I'm doing right now? Oh, thanks for the file, by the
Right.
way.
I'm
Because
trying to
remember, he
make
got the
friends.
file from her.
Right, which I don't know. Like, how much info was in that email that he had? Was it just the videos, or was there any?
I think it was just the videos, whereas this one has a location.
Right.
of them.
Okay. Well, sure. Whatever. So based on this, what you
Batman.
just saw, are you still excited for Wonder Woman? Has your opinion changed?
I am still gonna be excited for Wonder Woman, and I think I'm gonna be excited until I like up to seeing it. I think
You
I'm
don't
gonna
think as you see more come in, you'll start to panic
no,
again?
because
like
I'm
you
gonna
did
do the
with
same
Suicide
shit I
Squad?
did with this one, where I
Just
just
avoid
won't
it?
watch all that shit because
Right.
it ruins it ruins it for me. For me
Yeah.
personally, I think behind the scenes stuff is really cool, but for me, I just would rather see it when it's all in fruition and like that's the complete version. But I'm still excited. I'm kind of hesitant just because of how BVS turned out, but I'm hoping they meet in the middle and like make a good kind
It
of
looks
version.
like Captain America plus
Right.
It's Thor: First Avenger.
Right. Just like Suicide Squad was Guardians of the Galaxy
Guardians of the
meets
Galaxy.
Avengers 1.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause
down
it's
to the
the
portal in the
fucking,
sky and the drone
Sky.
villains that they
It's
have
the
to
blue,
fight.
the blue sky portal thing.
Real weird. But has it changed your opinion?
No,
You still excited for Wonder
I think
Woman?
I'm more excited by that than most of the other DC things.
Right. Wonder Woman, I think, looks...
It looks good.
Looks fine for
It
that.
looks like a solid film, and the thing is, at this point, whether or not it relates to whatever films that it previously came out, which it does to BVS, based on the trailer, I know we shouldn't really do it. Like, oh, let's base it on a trailer. Let's base our thoughts on a film based on a trailer.
Mm.
No, but on the trailer alone, it looks like it's actually going to be a fine film, unless of course they edit it really garbage.
I'm excited for the action in this movie. Like I don't
I like her
give a
slidey
shit.
moves.
Yeah, I
The
don't not
slide-
like
the-
too
the
stoked
shield
about
slide.
the love interest story that I know that they're gonna put in there. I don't
Yes.
really care about that.
Yeah.
You don't like
I'm
Chris
excited.
Pine, though,
I
right?
do not like Chris
If
Pine.
it was a different
He was
guy,
great
do you
in the
think you would care
last
more?
Star Trek. He was great.
He was fine in it.
But with Gal Gadot, like that
That's
is
true. Yeah, it's weird.
his counterpart. That's
it's
not
weird.
gonna work for me. But I'm excited for the action of this movie, and I'm excited to see the mascara or whatever. Like
The
their-
Amazons.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see the backstory of Wonder Woman more so than I am about whatever the fuck she's doing with Chris Pine.
I share that opinion.
Yeah.
And one for the road. Did the seeing Skrillex and Rick Ross hanging out with Joker influence your opinion on the Joker at all? Make you excited
I mean-
for any future projects?
I mean, I
Yeah.
liked that we saw him more.
Yeah,
We saw him
we
more
saw him
than
more.
2 minutes in the
Right.
music video that we did in the whole fucking movie.
That whole music video, we saw him more than we did in the proper
Right.
film, I
Yeah.
reckon.
Probably. He didn't say anything. Just
No.
walked around hanging
He
out
looking
with Skrillex.
looking like a... But see,
He looked
that
cool.
tie that he,
He
was
looked
wearing
cool, yeah.
was legit. It was the tailcoat tux.
He hung out with some super fat dude in a weird mask.
Yeah, that guy was...
He looked like Bizarre kind
He looked like the character from fucking Overwatch. Just
Yeah.
except
He had a
lost
bigger
weight.
belly than
Because he
that
lost
guy.
weight and it's just sagging now.
Alright, so anyway, I think that'll do it for now. So until next time, guys, stay chipper chaps.
Stay tuned.
Bye.
What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat.